Okay, welcome back. I did go ahead and restart my system and then realized that as I was playing a little bit the video wasn't recording quite the way I wanted it to. So I've kind of skipped ahead just a little bit. Another day has passed and I was able to gather a few more materials and make a little addition to the base here that I'm at. So I'm still in the tree fort here and still working through my first day. Now I did find some coal finally, but I'll go ahead and show you what I've done so far. I did go ahead and start adding a little bit more to this area. As you can see, I've moved the bed to another area and I went ahead and created a chest that has some items in it that I gathered in the last day. So as you can see, I have some stone tools, which is kind of what I was leaving off with just on that last video. So I have jumped ahead just a little bit. I've got more materials here that I've gathered, and I was able to pick a few things up as I kind of ran along. It is a new day, so I should be able to continue on here. I'm going to put a roof in here at some point. I'm finishing that up, and I'm also going to build more onto this, but I did go ahead and put a walkway in and some torches so that nothing can spawn up here while I'm gone, in order to be safe. Usually if there's darkness, there's a chance that something can spawn, so you gotta be very careful about having light. So I did create the staircase, which I think when we last saw it was just a dirt staircase. I went ahead and added in some steps and a door so that I could work. Let's make sure there's no creepers or anything around, and I'll go ahead and go out. So the big thing here is I'm going to get some wool here. I always like to collect wool when I can. There we go. I'll just show you a little bit more of what I've done. So I've created that's a little bit bigger, and I still need to expand it a little more. As you can see, here was that little stone quarry. It's not too much bigger now, but I did put a little door in to make it look a little more man-made, and I added in a little bit more light area here. And that way I was able to kind of hollow this out, as you can see here. So I was able to get some coal, not very much, but a little bit. It's enough to make me a few torches and things like that. I also began to clear out, if you remember, not only was I clearing out this to give me light, which I think I'll eventually put some glass in here so it makes it easier and nothing will fall in on me. I did start cutting down some trees, so as you can see I'm starting to kind of clear out some tree area here in case I want to go ahead and do some building, which I'll also think about. Now that one mountain where I had planned on doing some mining is back in that direction, and I'm probably going to head over there now because I did put I was able to do a little digging over there in the last day, so I'm still pretty good on time. I'm going to make a run over here for it. Hopefully I don't run into any creepers as I go. I'm going to keep an eye out for different materials that I might need at the moment. I do have a sword that I can defend myself with, and I do have some tools. And as you can see, this area is kind of a pain to navigate at the moment. So eventually I'm going to have to make a better route over to my mining area here, or what I want to be my mining area. So I think I'm getting close. This looks very similar to what I was looking for. This is like a creeper heaven here, just ready to jump out at me. Alright, so here was another area I found a few pieces of coal. I just happened to be running by. I think if you recall from the first video when I did my exploration, I found this piece here and I went counterclockwise, and I really didn't see anything as I went around the mountain. But when I came back the second time, I decided to kind of go to the clockwise, or to the left, and I was able to find some more coal. So what I did is I came in here and I started clearing out an area. I created a workbench for me to work in. I have a couple of windows that let me know if the sun's up or down, and then I'll eventually put a door here, and this will be a work area. And I'll probably expand this into almost like more of like a strip mine instead of a natural cave like I explained in the very beginning. So some of the things I think I probably haven't explained yet is talking about some of the items that I have, and I just made some stone picks and axes and a sword. I used cobblestone and sticks to go ahead and create those. A lot of the recipes that you get, I found them using the wiki site, which just kind of helps with trying to understand which ones there are. I'm sure people can just learn this on their own. You're usually typically making the shape of an item. Like when you make an axe, it's very similar to just making the shape of an axe. So it kind of has that shape, or a pickaxe, a little bit of that shape, a shovel, a little bit of that shape, or even maybe a sword where you have something like that. So it's a lot of the recipes revolve around that. It doesn't always seem to work out that way, but that's a good kind of starting point. So I'm pretty good here. I'm not too far away. This will be my second base of operations. I have one in that one. I think what I want to do eventually here is clear out some of these trees so it makes the route easier to get back and forth. So what I might do is, while I have some daylight, go ahead and collect more wood. I'm always going to need more wood, because if I'm going to be building structures in the trees, I like to use wood instead of stone. There's probably no other reason, except to me it just makes sense to use wood while you're building inside a tree. If I can get a few of these down before it gets too dark, the nice thing about that will be it'll make it easier for me to find my way back and forth as I go. So that's pretty good there. It's going to clear out some of that. And I know I came back from this direction here, and I'll just go ahead and clear out a few of these. Make me some open space. So I do have a giant forest to deal with, and I'm thinking this is an opportunity for me to do kind of a Family Robinson or Robinson Crusoe. I'm trying to think of what that show was. It was a Swiss Family Robinson or something like that, where they built all their stuff in the trees where they were stranded when they had shipwrecked. So I'm thinking maybe that might be a theme for this survival series. Once I get established, really, again, what you're trying to do in the first few days, and which I kind of failed at miserably on this first set, was just gathering enough materials to get ready to kind of push anywhere you need to go. Whether you're going to push, in one of the directions, or you're going to start building some superstructure or whatever, you got to do a lot of resource gathering at some point. What I'll try to do is not, make all my videos about me chopping down wood and digging dirt. Right now, I'm mostly doing that because as I'm gathering stuff, I'm kind of talking about my strategy. So the video is more about me explaining my strategy for this match or this session, more than it is me trying to show you how to cut down a tree or anything like that. So I'm just kind of making my way back, and I'm just clearing out some trees. This will give me more line of sight, hopefully back, make it a little safer route. I'm not going to get that one. I'll leave it. So that looks a little better through there. We'll keep going here. So when you're playing the game, you could, whatever world creates for you could be very different. You could start out in a desert area. You could start out on more water and islands. You might start in a very mountainous region. So you have to kind of tailor your strategy and what you want to do based on where you're starting. If you don't, and you're just looking for something specific, the nice thing about Minecraft is that the world is so large that if I were to continue to travel, I would eventually find the type of terrain that I want. So it is out there somewhere if I just find it. Like if I wanted to live in a desert, I'm sure I could find a desert area at some point if I traveled and looked in different directions. Here we have a little bit of interesting, got some water and some stone I might be able to use near my base. Water again. So far I haven't run into any creepers, which is good. Go ahead and keep moving on here. So that gave me a bunch of wood to use to finish building my fort here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this to expand to many of these trees, and I will build walkways and different ways to get through to them, maybe in this direction. I'll keep my land-based operations out towards the north and the east. Looks like the sun is about to set, so I'm going to get back up into the safety of my fort. With the torches, I should be pretty safe now. And as the sun sets, here I am back in the house. I'm going to go ahead and create a kind of a wooden porch all the way around it to give me a lot more sight line. And I'm going to go ahead and finish my roof off and just kind of fill this out. And I'll begin to fill this chest. This chest will be here for if I die out in the wilderness and I lose all my items. This will have my backup set of items in case I am sent back here because of death. I'll also have something similar in my mining area in case I run out of materials over when I'm in that area. And as far as where I'm going to expand after that, I'm not too sure. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and cut it off here. That just gives you kind of, this is the first few videos were days 1, 2, and 3. And what I've done here, the work I've done is probably days 4, 5, and 6. So next video will show you what I've done, and I'll probably do that. I'll probably condense it into several days of work and then show you where I'm at instead of showing you, having you watch me just collect resources. And I'll just kind of build some things here. So the nice thing is that now I have torches, I have light, so if it does get dark, you can still see in the video. So I'll go ahead and cut this off here, and thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.